What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Seth the Line Surgeon, and I decided to give y'all an update on my Astro van and give y'all a whole background story on what's been going on with my Astro van, and it's back. Guess what? You already know what time it is. OG Tipsy Talk. What's going on, guys? Yep, I decided to bring back the OG Tipsy Talk. I've been doing live videos. I started getting into live videos a lot, so I said, you know, I need to bring back this Tipsy Talk, man. So yeah, what's in the cup? As you can see already, I just got back from vacation, went to the Cowboys training camp, got this nifty bottle holder. Already got the bottle cap opener on it, and I'm drinking, I don't know if you can see it, a Michelob Ultra. So yeah, OG Tipsy Talk. For those who don't know about the Tipsy Talk, this is gonna be a very long video, but it's gonna be a good story. It's about my Astro, man. Here it go, right here. Good old white lightning. So let me go ahead and sit down in this bad boy. Yes, sir. And get this camera right. So, wanted to give y'all an update on Astro, man. For those of you who are new subscribers, Astro van, white lightning, beast mode, whatever you want to call it, it was my main work vehicle for about 3 years. 3 years, from about 2014 to 2017, and I got it back in, you know, rewind back to 2014. For those who didn't know, my work vehicle at that point was my 2007 Dodge Magnum. I had a 5x8 trailer, 5x8 trailer, and I used to tow my equipment with my Dodge Magnum. So I wanted to get something that was separate from my Dodge Magnum, because my Dodge Magnum was basically my everyday vehicle as well. So I wanted to have a work vehicle and an everyday vehicle. Preferably I wanted something V8, you know, because my Dodge Magnum was a V6, a 3.5 cylinder. So I wanted something V8, but I was willing to take whatever I can get. So I was asking around different people, I was looking, and my dad's friend, he has an electrical company. And what he does, he's a pretty big electrical company, and he works for even bigger electrical companies. They subcontract him. And sometimes the bigger companies will tell him, hey, you know, we got some old vans or old work vehicles with high mileage. If you want them, we'll give them to you for a low price. And he'll say, okay. So he'll buy them. So he got this one particular van that was small. He likes the full-size vans, like, you know, the big full-size vans. And this particular Astro van, he took it, but he didn't really want it. Coincidentally, I'm looking for a work vehicle, and he said, hey, you know, you want a van? And so he said, you come look at it. I said, all right, great. So I went out, I came, I looked at it, I'm like, man, yeah, this is nice. It wasn't a V8 like I wanted, but sometimes you gotta take what you gotta take. It was a V6, well, it is a V6, 4.3 liter or whatever. And so I said, okay, how much you want for it? He said, well, you know what, I'll just give it to you for how much I paid for it. I said, well, how much is that? $500. What? $500? I couldn't get to the bank fast enough, you know. So I scrambled to the bank, came back, and there it is. I got it beginning of 2014, before the season even started. I had my Astro van, and I used it from 2014, like I said, 2017 when I got my truck. Now, the background behind it. At the end of 2016, during the winter time, the battery started to drain. I didn't know what it was. The battery just died, you know, and so I said, well, I wasn't even really worried about it. I'm kind of procrastinate over the winter time because it's kind of my break. And so I said, you know, I'm not even worried about it. I'll figure it out right before the season starts. So, of course, the battery drained all the way dead over the winter time. So I get closer to the season and I jump it and I run it, and I noticed that, like, if it sits for like a week, it dies. You know what I mean? So I said, well, what's draining the battery? So I asked around. People say, you know, you got a parasitic drain. It can be anything and blah, 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 blah. It ended up being something very simple, but I'll get to that. Anywho, you know, I started getting closer to the season, 2017. I'm like, you know what, man? Like, I need to, you know, I had been thinking about getting a truck or a V8 because if y'all know, I have a 7x16 trailer, which is a big trailer, dual axle with brakes. And I towed around with that little V6 Astro van. You know, sometimes you got to do what you got to do to keep the train moving. So that's what I do. You know, I take what I can take and I get out here and I grind. So anywho, but I knew I needed a bigger vehicle to tow that trailer. Plus, the other problem was that when I had my Magnum, remember, I had my Dodge Magnum. Before I got my van, I had my Dodge Magnum and I had my 5x8 trailer. Once I got my Astro van, I found a deal on a 7x16 dual axle trailer. So I got that, which is my current trailer, and then I sold my 5x8, which was a mistake. The only reason I was thinking about keeping it, the only reason I sold it is because somebody I work with wanted it. They were like, hey, you know, you're gonna sell your old trailer? And I'm like, all right, you know, I can use the cash. I basically almost paid myself back because I got a deal on that trailer. I'll tell y'all, but I'll do another video on that trailer. But anyways, where was I? Yeah. So yeah, I needed a bigger vehicle. Anyway, so I contemplated all winter time 2017, and then season came along, April. I said, you know what? The van got to the point where it was just dying after like 2 days. I will jump it. It will run fine all day. You could go use it all day, come back the next day, start it up. It kind of hesitate, but it still start, and then it would just die the next day after that. And another thing that helped me make this decision is that because that was my only vehicle, tall vehicle. We had a Honda Civic, we had a Dodge Magnum, both of them are low cars. And that particular winter, we had a real bad storm. And so I had to drive the Astro man around. And I said, well, if this is my only vehicle that's high enough to drive through the snow, I can't have it dying. You know what I mean? I need to get a good, reliable vehicle. So that was the other reason to kind of talk myself into buying a new vehicle. Anywho, I went out and got my Titan. And so after that, I got it that year. You know, the Astro man kind of sat for a month. And then after a month, I had BJ, my cousin, that y'all see in the videos, and had Clay. If y'all look back in my 2017 videos, they were working for me. When we all would go out, we all would go out in my Titan. But then sometimes I would send them out, and I would send them out in my Astro van. And they go out and do some mulch, some cutting for me, and whatnot. And so it was still running, you know what I mean? But I would have to jump it every time, every weekend. It would jump it, they would go out, it would last them all day. They come back on that Saturday, and then by like, you know, Tuesday or Wednesday, it'll be dead again. And if they had to go out the next weekend or whatever, I have to jump it again. But anyway, it pretty much it's just stayed like that until over this winter time. At the 2017 winter, it got to the point where it was just like, I was just like, I'm not even messing with it. I don't know what's draining the battery, blah blah blah. And over the winter time, the battery, one of the tires dry rotted. So at the beginning of this 2018 season, I had to go get a new. I didn't even mess with it really at the beginning. I didn't mess with it till like May or June. Like, I was just using my truck. If BJ came and helped me, we rode in the truck. Cause Clay, he got an internship. He's not with us anymore. So yeah, I was just, using my truck. And so finally I said, you know what? I need to get this van right so BJ can go out and cut while I'm at work. Cause people don't know, I do this part-time, and while I'm working my full-time, BJ could be out cutting, helping me out. So anywho, I got the new tire on it. I jumped it. It was running good. So I sent BJ out about 3 times. Everything was gravy. The 4th time I sent BJ out, this bad boy done cut off. It cut off, and BJ was, luckily he was only like 8 minutes away from the house. It cut off. I was at work in my full-time job, so I had to go get my truck, and I had to go to him. So I went to him. First thing I tried to do was I tried to jump it. And when I tried to jump it, it cut on, and it ran, but as soon as I disconnected the jumper cables, it cut off. So I didn't know what was wrong with it. I'm not a mechanic. I don't know a lot about cars. All I really know about is whatever I had to fix. You get what I'm saying? If I had to fix something and figure out, and then that's what I know how to fix. So I'm gradually becoming more knowledgeable, but I don't really know too much about cars. Anyways, I just disconnected the van, hooked up my trailer, and then I towed my trailer and equipment away. My wife came, picked up BJ, took him back to the house so he could get his car, and I had the insurance company come and tow the van back to the house. The van came back to the house, and it just sat there for like a week because I was like done with it. I'm like, man, I was contemplating, should I get a new vehicle? I was kind of looking, but then I started to think, when I first got the Astro van, mind you, the Astro van had 281,000 miles on it, right? Right now it has 299,000. It needs to get an oil change anyway. So what I was saying when I got it was like, I got it for $500. So even if I had to put a transmission in it, even if I had to put a motor in it, it would be 100% worth it because of the price I paid for it. And it's a working vehicle. Even though I would rather have another vehicle, I could buy that used vehicle with 150,000 miles on it, and I have no idea what kind of problems that has. So I could still have to invest more money into fixing that vehicle. So I said, well, the best option is just for me to keep this Astro van, keep working on it, try to figure it out myself, to save myself money, and to get it fixed, get it back running. So I said, all right, let me get out here and work on this. So I went out. I looked at I took out the battery. I took it up to Advance. That's where I got it from, Advance Auto Parts. The funny part was, alright, so like I said, it started draining the battery in 2017, right? And it started draining it probably in 2016 or something. And in 2017, like the beginning of the season, I took the battery out. I knew the Astro van was what killed it. The battery was old anyway, but because of the whatever that was wrong with the Astro van was draining it, it kind of killed it. So I took it up there and they told me, oh yeah, it's dead, we'll give you a new one because it's inside the warranty. I said, okay, great, I got a new battery. So at the beginning of 2017, I took it up there to, well, this is 2018, beginning of 2018, I took it up there again to see if it had I could get a new battery again. It was like, nah, this battery still got all the cold crank amps, all 800 of them. I'm like, dang it. So anyway, I bought a charger, came home, charged it, that didn't work. I don't know if I didn't use the charger right, whatever. So I took it back up to Advance. They said, yeah, it still has all the cold crank amps, it's just not charged. They said we could do a charge here. So I left it there, they charged it all night. Got it back from them, still wasn't charged. I don't know what was wrong, what was going on. So I said, you know what, I'm just gonna try to jump it. So I put it in the van and I jumped it and it started. So I'm like, okay, it started. Now let's look. So, but we rewind. When I was putting it in, I noticed something. I noticed that the bolt that connects the positive terminal to the battery, the bottom half of it was stripped. And I said, I remember my friend Romeo. Y'all see Romeo in my videos. He knows everything about everything. He told me, as far as electrical goes, if you do not have a solid or good connection at a point of connection, then that can be a drain or short in a electrical system. So I said, if this bolt is stripped, because the bolt was to the point where you would turn it, it would get tight, and then you would turn it and you get loose. Tight, loose. You get what I'm saying? That's how much it was stripped. So I said, all right, that's probably what's draining it. You get what I'm saying? That's probably what's draining the van. So I ran to Lowe's, I got a new bolt, and I came back home and I jumped it and it's ran. I'm like, all right, it's running. Yeah, it's fixed. Then I started looking at the dashboard and I see low voltage, you know, the voltage meter. So I'm like, what does that mean? So I called Romeo. He says, oh, you know, that's probably the alternator. And coincidentally, in 2016, Romeo had helped me put an alternator in. So so I came back home and you know, I said, man, I guess I gotta get a new alternator. So I went on vacation for that week, and when I got back, I said, I gotta dive into this. I watched Romeo put in my alternator the first time, so I said I should be able to figure this out myself. So I came out here, I took everything apart, I got the alternator out, excuse me, went and got the new alternator, and I put that bad boy in. It was my first time changing the alternator. Like I say, people, man, like a lot of times, like I got how-to videos about how to change oil, how to change belts, how to fix this and that. I've never done this ever. You know what I'm saying? YouTube is my best friend. I look up a YouTube video. I looked up a couple YouTube videos while I was changing this alternator. But that's what you gotta do. It saves you a whole lot of money. I would have had to spend a whole lot of money paying somebody to put an alternator in. So I put that alternator in myself, and that was on Sunday. No. I put that alternator in on Friday. Jumped it, let it run. I only let it run for like an hour, which was probably not enough time to let the battery charge. And then the next day, Saturday, I tried to start it and it didn't start. You know, so I'm now nervous. I'm like, is it gonna start? Is it working? So Sunday, I went and I ran it. When I got home from cutting, I ran that bad boy for like 3 hours. like 3 hours, and it started up. So then I cut it off. Monday evening, I went out and I started it again. Started right up. No, it didn't have to jump it or nothing. Drove it and got some food, and I came back home. So now today's Tuesday morning, just got off of work. So now we're about to see if this bad boy, if you know what I'm saying, if this bad, I drove it last night, put some gas in it. We're gonna see if this bad boy starts. Alright, let me find the key here. There we go. Alright. Wish me luck. It's dinging. There you go. There you go. Got every light on. I think the I forget what the oxygen sensor is needs to be changed, but it's not it's still a pass inspection without it, so I ain't worried about it. But that's the only reason the service engine light comes on. But yeah, that's the story behind the Astro van, for those of you who wanted to know. And if you didn't want to know, I hope it was informational for you. So thanks for watching. Comment, subscribe, and stay tuned. Yes, sir.